I remember the night well, the night the moon called to us. In our small village of Nwanta, the elders always warned us about the full moon festival. Children must never wander past the great Iroko tree when the moon is full, Mama would say, her voice hushed, as if the spirits themselves were listening. But we were young, and warnings only fueled our curiosity. It was my cousin, Ifunanya, who first spoke of the festival in whispers. She had heard from her older brother that under the full moon, the spirits of the ancestors walked among the living, blessing those who were worthy and taking away those who were not. She told us of the masked dancers, their feet stirring the dust, their bodies moving like shadows under the moonlight. She said they performed by the river, just beyond the great Iroko tree, where the grown-ups never let us go. That night, the moon hung low and round, spilling silver over our village like an ancient secret. Ifunanya, Amaka, Kioma, and I made a pact. We would go to the festival, just this once, just to see. We waited until our parents' soft snores filled the hut before slipping out, the cold earth numbing our bare feet. The village was quiet, except for the distant hoot of an owl and the rustling of palm fronds in the breeze. Our hearts pounded as we ran, giggling nervously, past the sleeping houses, past the great Iroko tree, toward the river. Then we heard it. Drums, slow and deep, like a heartbeat in the night. A chant rose with them, voices weaving a melody so haunting it made my skin prickle. We crouched behind a bush, peering through the branches. What we saw made our breath catch. The festival was real. Men in towering masks danced in circles, their movements sharp and otherworldly. Women swayed, their voices rising and falling with the beat of the drums. The air shimmered with the scent of burning incense, fajimi bisan, thick and sweet. I turned to Afunanya, my heart racing. Maybe we should go back, I whispered. But she was already stepping forward. No one has seen us, she said. Let's get closer. Before we could stop her, she took another step, and the drumming stopped. The air grew heavy, pressing against my chest. The masked dancers turned as one, their hollow eyes locking onto us. A chill ran through me. The chanting had stopped. The night held its breath. Then one of them, a tall figure with a mask of painted bone, raised a hand and beckoned. Ifunanya took another step forward. "No," I hissed, grabbing her arm. But she wouldn't move. It was as if she was caught in a trance. Her eyes, wide and unblinking, reflected the moonlight. The masked figure stepped closer, silent as the wind, and the space between us and the festival seemed to vanish. Shadows stretched toward us, reaching, curling like fingers. Then, from the distance, a voice called out, stern, commanding. "Go home, children!" We turned. It was the village chief, his staff raised high. The spell broke. Ifunanya gasped, as if waking from a dream. We ran, stumbling, our hearts pounding in terror. We did not stop until we reached the safety of our huts, collapsing in a heap, too scared to even speak. The next morning, the village was quiet. The festival was gone, as if it had never been there. But the elders knew. They looked at us with knowing eyes, shaking their heads. That day, Ifunanya fell sick. Her fever burned for 7 days and 7 nights, and when she woke, she did not speak of what she saw. None of us did. Even now, as I tell this story, I feel the weight of the moon's gaze upon me. And I know one thing for certain: when the moon calls, you must never answer.